Yep, no, super impressive. Melbourne, obviously, super high talented team. 4 WNBA opals. Obviously, us without Sam had 0. So we're kind of worried about how we'd go trying to play those 3 games in a week, being over there the entire time. And then obviously without Sam, how flat will we be? How much will our minds naturally move on to the 2 Townsville games? So to get out of there with a win and to play as well as we did, super impressive effort from the girls. Their application to the scout, and then their ability just to let it fly. And if it goes in, it goes in. Super impressive. Staying ready. We say it a lot. Like at some point, someone will miss a game. Unfortunately, touch wood. Like be ready. An opportunity will arise, and when it does, like can you grab it? So we've had Burrows have a few games where she has DNPs. We've had Hoycard have a few games where she has DNPs. Like stay ready. An opportunity will likely present itself, and when it does, you've got to grab it. Because at some point, Whitcomb obviously will come back and take those 30-odd minutes back. So get yourself into the rotation, but don't tell me how much you care, show us. Don't tell me how much you want to play, like show us and take the minutes. So whether it was Hoycard against Bendigo in particular, Burrows against Melbourne in particular, Gandini's defensive job on Wallace, like all 3 of them in particular, Jesse's rolling in the pick and roll situation, even little Chloe Forster off the bench, just flown in the night before. Again, all of them just gave us such a spark and such a lift after that long road trip. 100%. Robbie, obviously early on, a bit nervous, a bit timid. We really wanted her playing like she did at Joondalup, just playing that free-flowing, really confident in her abilities, was happy to pull it off the bounce. When she first got here, very timid, very shy in terms of how she was playing. And again, conversation after conversation, like, Rob, just play like you did at Joondalup. We've got more spacing, obviously being at a different level. We've got more spacing, we've got more talent, obviously, different style offense. Like, this should suit you perfectly. And the games where she's been aggressive, she's been really, really good. In the Melbourne game, she was fantastic. Amy Atwell, elite, especially that first half, like really scary. And the definition of just let it fly and see what happens. Her game was fantastic. I think people misunderstand, or people don't understand. Whenever an import starts the season slowly, it's always like, oh, she's an import, she'll take a while to adjust to the league. Well, Amy Atwell hasn't been in Australia for 6 years. So, and it's also the first time she's played against adults, really. I know she played the 4 WNBA games, but she's played against college kids for the last 6 years. So when she first gets back to Australia, people just thought she should be great straight away because she has an Australian passport. That's not really how it works. And as you've seen, the uptick in her performance of late has been really pretty to watch. No, there's a lighting update that's just turned off, so that's not cool. What was the question, sorry? Sam's okay. She'll obviously play. She looked fine today on court, but I'm sure she's in physio before training and then straight back to physio again this Arvo. So again, as always, no one's ever 100 at this time of the season. But she's much closer to 100 than what we thought. I guess the benefit of us risking it and sending her home on Friday is that she can get rid of that flight. I think people on the East forget, obviously people understand it's such a long way back and forth, but then trying to get someone with a sore back on a plane from the East Coast back to WA, she naturally woke up Saturday really sore and stiff. So sending her home 2 days early was really handy, and she's obviously bounced back much better than we thought. Have been preparing behind the scenes for a month and a half. We had a whole bunch of single-headed games in a row, so we could put in some stuff knowing that we don't have any training sessions right now. It's literally a light walk through, a light shoot around, turn up on game day. So those weeks where we had just 1 game a week, we could put in a lot of stuff we could dust off and get ready for these games. And then also in those 3 road trip games, we also knew we had 5 games in 14 days, as Townsville have 5 games in 14 days. So I think we played our bench 170 minutes plus over those 3 games. Clearly trying to win the games, but also with a very clear mentality of we need to make sure we've still got some legs for the 2 Townsville games. So hence why you saw us empty our bench and play all 10 girls against Melbourne. Win, lose, draw, we need to make sure we got some petrol in the tank. Obviously, we've got questions like everyone does, but again, we've got to worry about our backyard. We've just got to worry about what we can control, as lame as that is. We've been playing some pretty good basketball, and we're going to dress the same 12 girls we have been all season. So we know who we are. We need to worry about us. With all due respect to Townsville, they can sort out their stuff, and we'll sort out ours. Again, when we went to Sydney with no Shyla, that was the main focus of our group. Was like, we don't need to worry about what's happening with Sydney right now with the 2 heels. We need to make sure we take care of our own stuff, and if we do that, we'll be fine. And once we got past half time, we were. So Townsville can be Townsville. We'll worry about our own backyard.